So that's exactly what you're saying, isn't it?
It's that inner voice. It's the one we hear the most. We spend 24 hours a day with ourselves. Let it be good word.
Yeah.
If we're the ones beating ourselves up, it doesn't matter what other people are saying to us. That external validation isn't going to matter. It's the internal. And yet, 24/7 we spend with ourselves. It needs to be better.
We can't escape ourselves, can we?
No.
Today I'm here with my amazing therapist, Kyla, and we are talking all things worthiness, reinventing yourself, and being enough. 80% of women don't believe they're enough. 75% of female executives struggle with imposter syndrome, and 91% of girls and women don't love their bodies. They're not just statistics, they represent the quiet battles so many of us are fighting every single day. This is according to Jamie Kern-Lima in her powerful book, Worthy. And it's exactly what we're diving into on today's episode of the podcast. We're talking about the epidemic of unworthiness, how it shows up in our thoughts, in our careers, in our relationships, and in our sense of self. Why do so many women, even those who appear successful on the outside, still feel like they're not enough on the inside? And more importantly, what can we do about it? This conversation is about rewriting the story we've been told, or maybe the one we've told ourselves, and starting to own our worth from the inside out. Let's dive in. Oof, these are big numbers, aren't they, Kyla?
Scary numbers, but not unsurprising.
Why do you think it's not unsurprising?
Because I think being a woman is hard, but it's not just being a woman. I think feeling worthy there's so many conditions, and it stems way back from when we were children, that actually our worth is conditional.
So we're not born feeling unworthy and not enough. Why do so many people feel unworthy and not enough? How have we got here?
Well, I think it stems from, if you think when you're born, your true authentic self, your organismic self it's called, then as time goes on, you have rules placed on you. And so you're now in battle with your organismic self and your other self. And it's that gap that makes us feel unworthy. It's the same thing that causes anxiety. It's whenever we're not being authentically us. Nursery rhymes about little girls, sugar and spice, and it's everywhere. Girls don't do that. Girls shouldn't do this. Girls don't play football. Look at now, like it's only now that the Lionesses have taken off in the last few years. Before that, there's always been men's football, but girls don't play. We don't have mixed teams because girls don't play. So I think society, and it's not that it's comes with malice, it's just these unwritten rules that we have, and then we buy into them because they stem from those closest to us, our parents, our grandparents, schools, religion. If you have a religion, it's everywhere, even when it's not malicious.
So this really spoke to me. It's a paragraph from Jamie Kern-Lima's book, Worthy. And I'd be curious to hear what you think of this. Self-doubt, unworthiness, and fear can slowly start to dim our inner light. They make us play small and hold us back. We hide parts of ourselves, we speak half-truths instead of our full truth, and we end up living only part of our lives, showing only pieces of who we really are. Instead of seeking real deep connection, we chase the idea of fitting in. We look for validation and significance in all the wrong places, in the things defined by others, not by us. And over time, we start to believe that this is the only way to feel love, to feel like we belong, to feel worthy. But if this sounds familiar, if deep down you know you're only living part of who you are, if you've been holding back, second-guessing yourself, or hiding the real you, then you might be feeling it. That quiet emptiness, that ache, that aching sense of something missing. It's the feeling of not being fully seen, not even by yourself. It's the disconnection from real joy. That strange emptiness, even when things look good on the outside, and it's that gnawing feeling that you're not quite enough. And yet you're smiling through it because you've learnt how to hide in plain sight.
Yeah. That's exactly what everyone's teaching us. When you think there's Brené Brown, she's talking about you have to belong to yourself before you can belong to others. It's in her latest book. Something, the heart. It's in that. Gabo Matea talks about it. He talks about exactly that, the difference between conditional worth, which is what we're saying, society, and authentic worth. And the work comes from being authentically ourselves. But that's really difficult. It's not an easy notion to be like, no, I'll just be authentically myself. My goddaughter, now 12, went shopping the other day. Now, she's got a real funky style. She's baggy jeans, like band t-shirts. Like, she's awesome. And yet, the clothes that she chose were traditional, acceptable fashion. She was beating herself up about it. And I said to her, I was like, darling, as long as you're doing this for your own reason, you can choose to be part of what everyone else is doing. That's fine, but it has to be your choice. Not because you feel like you have to, but because you want to. And we don't have that kind of messaging. And that's the problem, is it's the messaging that we get that makes our self-worth so shaky.
Do you think this has anything to do with having a midlife crisis? Because what I see, and I don't know whether this is too early, but I'm sort of late 30s. A lot of my friends are early 40s, mid 40s, that this stuff doesn't happen overnight, does it? It's bit by bit, layer by layer. And over time, we can go, well, who are we? Because we have been subscribing to other people, to society, to how we should show up. Do you think this is a reason behind midlife crisis?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Who am I? How can you be worthy if you don't know who you are? Part of something. I've been a mum longer than I've been an adult. I don't know how to be me if I don't attach that label to it. I don't know how to be me without being a business owner anymore. I don't know how to be me without being a counsellor anymore. They're all parts of me. But who am I? Is a really, really difficult question. Like you. Mid-40s. Well, I'm mid-40s.
It's fascinating. And I don't know about you, Kyla, but I can look back on my past relationships and look at the friends or the romantic relationships that I had, and I can know in that moment how worthy I felt. I couldn't see it at the time, but I can look back now. And when I felt unworthy, I had lower quality of friendships that didn't align with my values and beliefs, and actually people that didn't respect me, or I was people pleasing to fit in. Can you think of a time, or do you have a story when you felt like you were doing your own light and playing it safe because you felt unworthy?
Oh, yeah. In this very building, because I used to work here before it was what it is now. I never felt like I fitted in because I elevated within the role quite quickly. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I didn't feel worthy of my space on the senior leadership team. I didn't feel worthy of giving the talks because I didn't know who I was. I was playing a role. For me, whenever I don't feel worthy, it's because I'm playing a role. I'm not being authentic.
And why do you think it's more common for women to feel this than men?
That's a really difficult question. I don't know. I think it stems from childhood again. Like, we can blame our parents for everything, but I don't mean the parents. I mean society. Somebody said earlier, it's because we're taught to be small. And I think that's true. Girls are taught to be small, taught to be dainty, cute, like
all things nice.
So actually, if you're a bit feisty and you're a bit like, oh, what are you then? If you're the opposite of what you're taught to be.
You're difficult.
Yeah. And who wants to be difficult? You're demanding, you're over-emotional, you're too this, you're too that. Who wants to be that?
And funnily enough, this is where all the leaders come from. If we can stay in that role long enough as you get to adulthood, actually this is where you can excel, isn't it?
But it's staying within that role long enough.
Few people do, I imagine. Most of my unworthiness stories come from my teenage years and childhood. I wouldn't ever relive that time. My 20s weren't great either, but teenage years were the worst. I must have been 16 when we could get into the clubs back then. I don't know if you can now, but we definitely could. So we used to do clubbing, and we Yeah, I reckon about 16. It was back in the days that girls could get into clubs without IDs. And there was this group of us and we were all really enjoying ourselves. We were dancing, we were having a good time. And there was this guy in the group that said, Polly thinks she can dance, but she can't. And I was having such a good time and I loved dancing. And oh, do you know what? This is still with me and I haven't got over this yet. And it's held me back till actually, in saying that, did go to a wedding a few months ago, although a few glasses of champagne were had, quite a few, I must say. And I was dancing, but do you know what? It takes a lot for me to get on that dance floor, and I've stopped enjoying it. I've held on to this story. I used to be so confident dancing, and now my story is I can't dance, which is actually his story that I've taken on myself.
It's rewriting your inner script that is the key. There's a few steps, but is the key to self-worth. And does it matter that I can't dance? You're not doing Strictly. You know? You're having fun at a wedding. And also, who's going to judge you in those moments?
Yeah, me actually. But I'm a really harsh critic of myself.
100%, which actually makes it really difficult for you to feel worthy when it's your voice you're hearing that is the critic.
So let's say I'm wanting to get up and dance and I hear this voice, I can't dance. What would I do?
So it's something I've learned in ED recovery. Do the exact opposite, because it's your eating disorder brain or your anxiety brain or your self-worth, your self-critic. Do the opposite. I think I can't eat today. No, you have to eat today. I think I can't dance. Yes, you can, because you've got 2 legs. And you literally have the tools to dance, so do it.
So flipping on his head. And actually that made me think of Instagram talking about having a beach body. Do you have a body? Yes, you do. Therefore, you have a beach body. Like anyone can go on the beach. Don't have to look a certain way, but the world suggests that we do. I love that. Do you have a body? Yes, you do. You have a beach body. I was like, do you have 2 legs? Yes, you can dance.
Yeah. We need to stop telling ourselves about the things we can't do and think about the things we want to do. And don't want to do. You know, I'm not saying lots of us are people pleasers. I'm not saying do the things you don't want to do. But do the things that come to you, not what you've been told by others.
So fascinating. I really love this quote. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
So it's our beliefs that we have to work on.
It all stems from our beliefs.
It's funny because I remember doing a house sit in Rye years ago and I wanted to do a couch to 5K. In my head, I kept telling myself, but I'm not a runner. I'm not a runner. They had this really long corridor and I used to run along there and just be like, see, I'm a runner, I can run. We were there for 3 weeks before I started my couch to 5K. So by the time I got to do that, I was already telling myself, well, I am a runner, I can run. Even though it was small and I wasn't running particularly far, it turned it on its head. Yeah. So that's exactly what you're saying, isn't it?
It's that inner voice. It's the one we hear the most. We spend 24 hours a day with ourselves. Let it be good words.
Yeah.
If we're the ones beating ourselves up, it doesn't matter what other people are saying to us. That external validation isn't going to matter. It's the internal. And yet, 24/7 we spend with ourselves. It needs to be better.
We can't escape ourselves, can we?
No.
So it's fascinating because I've got another story I've written. Again, it's back to teenage. Why do you think we're so prone to taking on other people's opinions when we're teenagers, aren't we?
Yeah, we want to fit in. Don't forget, we've left a school like a primary school, which is generally smaller, which is kinder. The people haven't formed opinions, and we go to high school, which is massive. We want to fit in. Who doesn't want to fit in? It depends what group you fall into and where you find your acceptance. There's the popular girls, the sporty girls, the geeks, whatever. And actually, who cares what group you're in as long as you're authentic? But we don't teach our kids that.
No.
So yes, teenage years are harder because people are mean. Teenagers are mean.
Yes, they are.
And that's been since the dawn of time. Teenagers are mean. They're mean to each other. They're mean to themselves.
Do you think we're not teaching our teenagers this because we've not yet learned it ourselves either?
100%. I think ours is probably one of the hardest generations because our parents didn't know this stuff, so it didn't kind of matter. They didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't know this stuff. We've learned this stuff, and now there's a massive pressure to teach this stuff, and it's not yet embedded. It's still a lesson. We're better at it, but it's still a lesson. So hopefully our kids, it will be natural and they'll teach it and it will be fine. It's a really tough one.
Because we're teaching it as we're doing it. Oh, that's so interesting. I remember at school there was this guy, and I won't say his name, although I'd like to. And I remember him being like, "You're so pale," and I am, particularly in winter. I'm almost transparent. He said to me, "You're so pale." I remember him making fun of me, and I would get up at 5 a.m. to put on fake tan before school, to put it on my face. A lot less now, but even in winter, every few days, I find myself adding a bit to my moisturiser, and I have to go, hang on a minute, I'm doing this for myself now, because, you know, I would be really tanned, almost like with an issue with fake tan, getting up at 5, and now I'll put a little bit to it, just so that I have a tiny bit of a glow through winter. But it's so interesting how these things can stay with you.
Yeah, they do.
So, I mean, this episode, I think, is for young Polly. Like, if I could go back and say, do you know what? You are enough. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could all go back and almost give ourselves a hug and be like, do you know what? You are enough exactly as you are. We all needed that as teenagers.
There's a really interesting trend on Facebook where you go back and you meet your younger self and tell them you're okay. Now, I have an issue with that because it's not telling them that you'll find yourself. It's telling them that you'll be successful. So many of them are like, I've achieved this, I've achieved that, you're this, you're that. And it actually goes completely against the opposite to say you'll be okay as you are. That would have been earth-shattering, not you'll be successful, you'll have the house, you'll have this. It's conditional. It buys into the conditional word.
Oh, because I wrote this. I really want to know what I wrote right now. Did you write one? Can I read you mine? See how people could do this themselves as an example of how they could show up for their younger self.
Yeah.
So let's see how she did it and how. Let's just find it. Okay, here we go. So this is the trend. This is what I've done on Instagram. I met my younger self for coffee today. She was 10 minutes early, anxious, burnt out, and going through another bout of depression. I was 10 minutes late. We both ordered green tea. She asked me if she would always be hustling, always be burnt out, and if her dreams were ever going to come true. I told her yes. No one would believe her in the beginning. They would tell her to get a real job and your dreams are too big. They wouldn't get it. But keep going, because one day they'll ask you how you did it, and if you can show them how to do it too. One day you'll be resting while they're still working. You'll be travelling while they've used up all their holidays. You'll have freedom while they're chained to their desks. I hugged her and said, listen to the whisper inside you. Follow that, not them.
So how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's powerful because the work that we've done together is about resting. It's about honouring how you feel. It's about not doing things for other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that I still mentioned about the success. There was nothing about being enough as you are, but it was about being authentic to myself, I feel like. What do you think of that?
No, yes, there's authenticness. You chase it, rest. But what you didn't mention is that you'd still be anxious, but you'd work on it. That you'd discover that most of your issues probably weren't mental health related, but neurodiversity.
Yeah.
Wouldn't settle into actually who you are. I'm not depressed. What I have is chronic fatigue syndrome. What I have is neurodiversity. What I have is not sleep apnea.
Yes,
sleep apnea. So and insomnia. So I don't sleep. You would have actually accepted those parts of you rather than beat yourself up for it.
And talk about the success of that.
Look at the journey. The journey's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's been a journey and it's been hard. And I think there's so many times that your self-worth has played into it. No, I deserve to put the time in to find out what's wrong.
Yeah.
I can understand myself better. I deserve that.
It's interesting because I've got a quote here and it says, No matter how vividly we visualize our goals and dreams, in relationships, careers, health, if deep down we don't feel worthy of them, we won't achieve them. We'll stay stuck, we'll talk ourselves out of them, and we'll give up too soon, or we'll sabotage them along the way.
Yeah.
We have to be able to believe them to achieve them.
Yeah. And I think that's why they need to be authentic. Like Couch to 5K. Were you doing it because you wanted to do it, or were you doing it because everyone was doing it?
I was doing it because I wanted a better body.
Yeah. And why did you want a better body?
Because the world tells me to.
And what's a better body? I actually love the body you've got.
And that's hard. We've been so conditioned to this is what it looks like. And if we're outside of that category, sorry, you're not allowed to love your body.
No, exactly.
You can love it if.
If, yeah. I'm a massive
When?
hypocrite, as I'm not shy in saying, have anorexia. My body's completely different to what I'd expect it to be like. I'm in size 8 clothes. I can fit into size 6 clothes. It's not great. I'd much rather be in my size 12s where I was happy and I had confidence. I loved my body as a size 12. Even as a 14, I've until now never hated my body because it was authentic and it was mine. Whereas now, in the depths of an eating disorder, it's like, I don't want this body because it doesn't feel like mine. I think when we try to get a body that isn't ours, that's when it all starts.
That's really interesting because I have body dysmorphia. And I look back at all of my body sizes, and I've been everything from a size 4, which is tiny, to a size 14. And I'm still going, I will be enough when I'm a size 8 to 10. And it's been really hard to let that go.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was like, that's what felt like my body. That size felt like my body. This size, I don't feel like myself. And it's funny because I feel very worthy in my career. I feel like I have got to a point where I'm like, I'm enough. I can do this. I've got this. I can get to where I have absolutely no issues there. The main issues and the hardest thing for me is the body image issue. And it's not like we're worthy and that's it. These things come back again. And then you have to redo the work. You don't get there and go, hallelujah, I'm here.
It's like self-actualization. You're knocked back down really, really quickly.
Exactly. It's those stairs, isn't it?
And I think because what society wants from us changes. We're in the super skinny era again. All of the drugs that people are taking, we're back at that.
It's so true.
2 years ago, we were loving our body. There was loads of body positivity, but now we're in skinny talk again. And like, how do I get there? I can't possibly be worthy if I'm not that.
And it's possibly, I'm not saying for everything, but with the Monjaro weight loss is wrapped up in I want to be healthy. And that's wonderful. If you want to be healthy and want to be well for health reasons, absolutely. But again, if it's to fit into this is what I should be like as a woman, then that's completely different. And that will lead to a lot more eating issues.
If you want to be skinny because you want to be skinny, I don't care. Just admit it to yourself. Do it for the right reasons. Do it because you want to be skinny, not because TikTok tells you to be skinny or Instagram tells you to be skinny. Take the drugs, doesn't matter. Do the exercise, doesn't matter. But let it be for you and not because that's the latest thing that we have to be.
So people listening to this and they're going, how can I tell if I don't feel worthy? Like, what are the signs?
A lot of people pleasers don't feel worthy because they don't take their space. When you feel worthy, it's actually liking yourself. It's doing things because you want to. It's taking the holiday because it works for you. It's cooking the food that you wanted. It's all about you. I matter. It has to come down to that. I am worthy of this. I'm worthy of this boundary. I'm worthy of this friendship. I'm worthy of this relationship. No, you don't get to talk to me like that because that's not how I want to be spoken to. It's a tiny kind of boundary, but it's really, really important. You don't get to say, don't shout at me. But what you do get to say is, when you shout at me, I'm going to leave the room because I don't like it. And that's really important because actually your self-worth then is increased. I don't deserve to be spoken to like that, but it has to come from within.
So how do we start that very first step of being worthy? Like, what is let's say you're a big people pleaser, you want to set the boundary. What would be the first step in our worthiness journey?
Understanding it. Understanding you. You spend some time with you and start picking it. Is this authentic? Is this real? Is this me? Has it been given to me? That's really important. You actually learn yourself and then you start to question it. But it does start with actually, who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? But not for others, for me. When I go to bed at night, what is it that I'm thinking about? Is it the conversation I could have had differently? Is it that I didn't do what I wanted to do today, but I did what other people wanted to do? Because when you're lying there at night, it will be telling you something. That loop is telling you something. And so it's about noticing yourself. I do a lot of work with the Johari window, for instance, and it's unpicking who you actually are and giving back all of those external validations that you've needed, but that aren't yours.
Oh, fascinating. Can you share what is it?
So it's called the Johari window. It's John and Harry designed it, hence Johari. It's a square set into 4. One of them is the subconscious, which I never really understand, if I'm honest, subconscious, so I don't know how. And then you've got your blind sides, known to others, but not to you. You've then got your open side, which is known to you and others. And then you've got your hidden side. And that's the stuff that you know to be true about you, but that you aren't ready to be out in the open. The easiest way to explain it for me is my ADHD journey. Gosh, that's a tongue teaser. It started in my subconscious. It then moved to where people thought it, but didn't mention it. It then went to my hidden because I was quite ashamed. I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't want to admit my limitations because I saw them as failures. Or all of the conditioning I had in school to be better when I couldn't be better because I had ADHD. And now it's out in the open and I don't care. I celebrate it. But that was the journey, and I think that comes through a lot in that journey. But it is part of me, and I can live my life knowing that now. I'm worthy of not going to the supermarket and doing a full shop because I really struggle with that. The noises, everything, especially at Christmas.
Too.
But I'm worthy of the food shop or whatever, the online shop, that letting someone else do it. I'm actually worthy of that. I don't need to do it. It doesn't make me a good mum because I go shopping. But that is the thought I had in my head. Resting's another one. People don't rest very often because they're told that it's lazy, but actually they're worthy of that rest.
So can we talk about the difference between self-confidence versus self-worth? Jamie, in her book Worthy, describes this. Self-worth is external. It fluctuates based on mood, performance, and approval. It's stable. It means knowing you're valuable no matter what's happening around you. Self-confidence is based on mastery. Self-worth is based on identity. Self-confidence is what you can do. Self-worth is who you are. Self-confidence is believing you're skilled enough. Self-worth is believing you are enough. Self-confidence fluctuates with your environment. Self-worth is stable through every environment. Self-confidence is fragile. Self-worth is foundational. Self-confidence is about earning love. Self-worth is knowing you are love. Self-confidence gives you drive. Self-worth gives you peace. Self-worth is your foundation. Self-confidence is the house you build on top of it. Your house will only ever be as secure as the foundation it's built upon.
Very true.
I thought that was really powerful.
It is very powerful, and it explains it perfectly because, you need self-worth. It's the foundation of life. It's the foundation of everything. We're taught that we need lots of friends, not that we need good friends.
Oh, it's true, isn't it?
You see it all the time. A big girl group going out. Oh, that looks fun. Oh, I haven't got that. Oh, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
How many of those girl group are happy? How many of them are showing up and being themselves? How many of them just threw the outfit on because they were with their people? Probably very few.
That's interesting.
And so when you think worth versus confidence.
So could you give another real life example of self-confidence versus self-worth?
Today, I have turned up in my work clothes, straight from work. I know that I'm worthy of being here. The confidence is, do I look right to be in quite a fancy place? Do I need to show my credentials? Do I need to be something else? I know I don't because it's a coffee shop, but it's like, no, I have to be something else. Whereas self-worth is, no, I need to show up and be me. And me will always be enough for the right client. Me won't be right for every client. Absolutely, I won't be. But do I know what I'm talking about with self-worth? Yes, I do. So therefore I can be here. And even if I didn't, it's a conversation between two people and we get things wrong. We don't need to show up perfect. Self-worth is showing up as you are. Self-confidence is being perfect. It's doing lots of stuff to make yourself look professional.
Oh, I love this. And actually, thank you for sharing that, because this morning I was like, I'm going to crimp my hair. I'm going to put all this makeup on. And I got there and I started looking at myself in the mirror and I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to go strip back, put a little bit of makeup on. I've washed my hair, brilliant. But I thought, actually, I'm fine. And I think almost when I first started doing these podcasts 3 months ago, I would have wanted to do all of that. And now I think through the work that we've done, I'm like, actually, I'm enough.
And that's not to say you shouldn't do things like that, but you do it because you want to.
And I would have done it not because I wanted to, because I felt like I had to. And that's when I checked myself and I was like, actually, I don't want to. I'm not going to do it.
I'm worthy as I am.
Yeah, I love that. I've got a few quotes here that I think you would really love, because we both love Brené Brown, don't we?
I would love to marry that woman. I know she's married and neither of us are gay, but I would love to marry her. I want her in my corner.
So you are imperfect, wired for struggle, but worthy of love and belonging. I think this is what so many people think that the self-improvement journey is: to be perfect, to get rid of your flaws. And the thing is, we're always, as humans, going to have flaws. You cannot unflaw yourself.
No, definitely not. Cabot Mateus says the same. He said, you're worthy of love even when you're messy. Because we're going to be messy. It's that conflicting emotions or two things that are different sitting perfectly within the same space. I bang on about it all the time. Got it tattooed on my wrist. It's so important. It's the and. I can be messy and worthy. And yes, we can. We don't have to show up perfectly. We have to show up, if possible, authentically.
Yeah. Yes. And another one she's put, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are, which is exactly what you've been saying.
Yeah. How do you think that shows up for you?
One thing, let's say I'm here with my notes, because I have ADHD, which means I have for me, it shows up as a poor working memory, and also dyslexia. Even if I know the topic like the back of my hand, I could sit here and my brain would run off in the other direction. I've done this in university where I've sat to give a talk and we're not allowed to have our notes, and my brain sat down. And I remember being so embarrassed, I literally had to turn around and read the screen. We were expected to know it by heart. And I would never come to a podcast without notes, because even if I know what I'm talking about, I would sit and forget. So I have my notes. And before I would have been like, I have to learn it by heart. Like, who am I to show up with notes? This is my podcast. I should be experienced. I shouldn't have notes. And now I am neurodiverse. I do have these conditions. It's who I am. So I'm here with my notes and I'm proud. And I don't have to look perfect on camera. I can have my notes, because I think by me showing up as I am, it also gives other people permission to go, hey, I can do that too.
Yeah. But even without that, even without giving it to other people, you've given it to yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
I am worthy of these notes. I've done the work. I'm worthy of being here. This is my podcast. I can actually do what I want.
Do what I want.
Yeah. And that's the important thing.
Oh, yes. And I think I've got another quote here because I do love a quote. Sometimes your next level of life isn't achievement, it's alignment. And that's Brendan Burchard. And I think this sort of ties into worthiness, doesn't it? Because alignment of who you are.
Yeah.
Again, not what you think you're meant to be. Oh. So I want to share a little story. And it's not necessarily about reinventing yourself. It's about coming back to who you always were. So I remember, and I've shared this on another podcast, so I won't go into too much detail, but I got the grades to go to Australia to study there in my university years. And I was meant to go with 2 other friends. And they didn't get the grade, so it was me. And I was like, I know that it's really important for me to go. And one of the reasons I wanted to go is A, it's Australia, how cool is that?
Who wouldn't? Yeah.
And B, I was so painfully shy. So painfully shy that I would speak to anyone and I would go bright red. If a boy looked at me in my team, bright red. And I remember just thinking, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Why can I? And I could be myself with a few friends. Couldn't be myself necessarily with family, but there are a few people I could be myself with. And I wouldn't let anyone talk about it. So my mum would be like, have you sorted this? I was like, I've got a tick list, Mum. I can get through it all myself. Please don't talk to me about it. And I banned everyone from talking about Australia.
Wow.
I got on this plane and it was a long journey. And I remember thinking to myself, I get to be whoever I want to be here. And I choose to not be shy. I almost feel like my life depends on me not being this way, because it was, I would eat my lunch. I remember eating my lunch, or not, I would skip lunch and I would go to the bathroom and wait till lunch was over. I was hungry, but I wouldn't go and queue because I thought everyone was looking at me. I saw that I didn't look good enough. I had so many body issues. I didn't feel worthy, all of these things. And I thought it doesn't have to be like this. No one knows me. Thank God I didn't deal with those people. They were like, hang on, who is she? Bit by bit. I was like, I get to show up who I was. And I was there for 6 months. And I came back a completely different human. But I decided to be more myself. So I wanted to be the me who I was, with my very few authentic friends when I could be myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to show up bit by bit. And sometimes go, oh my God, I need to go under the duvet because that was too scary. But it was bit by bit by bit. It just goes to show we don't need to take like a decade. And I mean, 6 months is a long time, but it's also not that long.
No.
What happened there?
Authenticity. You didn't go thinking I'm going to not be shy. You went thinking I'm not really shy, so why do I act like that?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm worthy of this experience being what I want it to be.
Fascinating. So in my day and age now, when I show up as being shy, is that me showing up as not being worthy?
What is shy?
Yeah.
I go red, but I own it very early on. When I'm delivering training or doing a group session, I say, I'm going to probably blush. I could put green stuff on and I could put tons of makeup on, but really I need the extra time in bed. I'm not going to lie. I don't sleep well like that. So I own the redness. I own the fact I might sweat a lot because I'm a bit anxious, but I'm anxious because I care.
Yeah.
So for me, shyness doesn't show up as I'm not worthy. It shows up as I care.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that better, because there are times where I think, do you know what, I do feel shy. And this is humanness, isn't it? It's just showing up as being human.
As being human. We're so often taught to categorise our emotions and our feelings in good and bad.
Yeah.
They're not. They just are.
Yeah.
All emotions just are.
Yeah.
There can be behaviours you don't like. Absolutely. There's negative behaviours, but there's not negative and positive emotions.
Yeah.
And even those messy emotions that you don't like, when they come up, you're still worthy of feeling them.
And I imagine you can still feel enough and still feel shy at times. And feel enough and feel embarrassed. Feel enough and anything else after that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. And I think sometimes perfection can be praised, can't it? But I think it's fear hiding behind that, isn't it?
100%. But we praise all sorts of things that then turn out to be crippling. My son is the funniest person you'll ever meet. He is hilarious. But that's a really hard thing to keep up, to be happy all the time, to be funny all the time, to be this all the time. And when you want to be perfect, whose version of perfect? Because I show up in my perfect way, because I show up authentically. That could be short with people, that could be messy, that could be standoffish, that could be all sorts of negative emotions. But actually it's perfect because it's perfect for me. It's where I am. It's how I feel in that moment.
Yeah. So we've spoken about self-worth and we've spoken about self-confidence. What would enoughness be in relation to self-worth and self-confidence?
Its enoughness would be working at a level that you're happy with. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your self-worth isn't going to be built in a day. But once you've done the first bit of the work of understanding it, of learning it, then you start to challenge it. Even at the beginning, it's enough, because that's the journey you're on. It's always enough if you're authentic. And it doesn't matter if you've literally done one thing that is increasing your self-worth, because you've done it. If you've thought about it, if you go to bed and think, tomorrow I'd like to do this, you've acknowledged that you didn't do it today. And that's enough. Enough has to be enough for you, not for others.
Yeah. So let's say I feel like I'm worthy. I feel enough. What type of people would I surround myself if I feel these things? Because I always think that you are the 5 people you spend your most time with. So based on that, and when I wasn't feeling worthy, I would be with people who maybe put me down or make me not feel enough. They might be doing things that I don't want to do, and I feel like I'd be people-pleasing quite a lot. So let's say you were growing your circle, you wanted to up-level your friendships. What would they look like if you were feeling enough?
It's a really difficult one, because I wouldn't even know where to start with up-leveling your friendships. I have a very small group of friends, but what I do know is those friends I can show up authentically with.
So that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah. I can be messy, I can be sad, I can be ill. I don't have to be anything that I'm not. And I think I struggle with friendships at the moment because I'm not fun. I used to be the fun one. I used to be the one that organised stuff, that suggested stuff, that did stuff in my small group of friends. But now I'm tired, I'm ill, I'm surviving. And so showing up as me isn't the me that they remember or the me that they used to. And that's okay, because I know that I can pick up those friendships when I'm well. So I don't blame the friends for not being as round as much, because I'm not around. They don't know who I am in this ill state. And so for me, it's allowing me to show up as I am. And often I don't like to show up as I am, so I don't show up. That's self-worth. I can miss my friends and want to be a bigger part of their lives and know that I haven't got anything to give. I hope that they'll allow me back, that they are the real friends who I think that they are, and that when I'm able to be the version of me that they know, which I believe is the authentic one, for the real me, they'll allow me back in.
Thank you for sharing this.
I think elevating friends, I wouldn't know where to start making friends. I think I've used all of my easy inroads, as in antenatal groups, as in first day of primary school, as in that kind of stuff, kids basically. Yeah, so I don't know where adults make friends. It's hard.
Yeah, I've spoken about this a few times before, but I've met a few friends on Bumble. But again, it's like, how do you show up? Because my natural state when I'm not in survival is I want to show up as fun and energetic. And when I have my chronic illness flare-ups with ME, I am flip reverse. So it's almost like showing people that there's two sides to you and being like, I'm not always fun. I'm not always the energetic one. There is this side as me as well. And I really like the quote. I think it's Marilyn Monroe. If you can't take me my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. That's something I like to take. But then I think, We can have friends, we can have fun friends, we can have gym friends,
Yeah.
we can, and I think maybe sometimes we put too much on friendships, don't we? That you're never going to get one friendship that delivers everything.
No, we put too much of our self-worth on friendships.
Yeah.
I can't be a good friend if, or these friendships aren't good because, but yeah, they can. I don't know who said it, but in the friendships are a lifetime, a reason.
A reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Or a lifetime, yeah.
I love that saying, and I don't know who said it either, but it's brilliant, isn't it?
And our self-worth is not contingent on how many friends we've had since school or how well we've done friendships, because a friendship is two people.
Yeah. And it's fascinating because I think the truth is that nothing outside of you will ever make you feel enough. Will it? And that comes from your friendship group, your career. That has to come truly from inside, isn't it? From you.
They're the bonus points.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not. What we need to get people to be is okay even when they're poor. Okay even when they've been made redundant. Okay even when they've had a massive fallout with their friendships. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm worthy. Yeah. Those are brilliant and we all need them and they're amazing. But actually, so what if I rent my house versus buying it? There's a Norland, is it Norland? Is that how you say it? The nannies, the London ones. I think it's Norland. She's like, I've taken a rented home, a second-hand car, and there was a third thing, someone else looking after my kids for 12 hours a day while I go and look after someone else's to make money. And that was so interesting because for her in this moment, her self-worth is about being the mum that she wants to be.
Yeah. So what one thing would you like our friends listening to take away?
That you're worthy. No matter where you are in life, you are worthy. You can work on that and you can feel more worthy. But it has to come from within. Even if you're not able to be your authentic self, know your authentic self. And if you can't show up as your authentic self, understand why. But you're worthy of showing up even if you're not showing up authentic, because that's the choice that you've made for whatever reason. We don't live other people's lives. You just live your own. 24 hours a day you spend with yourself. Be kind.
Be kind. Thank you so much, Kyla. This has been so much fun. So you don't need to reinvent yourself. You need to return to yourself, to the version of you that knows she is already enough, to the part of you that doesn't need to earn love, prove your worth, or shrink to fit in. Owning your worth isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It's choosing to show up even when you feel shaky. It's taking the next step, even if it's a whisper. It's living from alignment, not fear. So if you're waiting for the right moment to feel enough, this is it, right here, right now. You're not too late, you're not too much. You're enough exactly as you are today. And the world needs more of you, not a polished, performative version, but the real, present, powerful you. Worthy now, not if, not when, worthy now. And a huge, huge thank you to Kyla for joining today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
It's my pleasure. Loved it.
Bye for now. Bye. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the Elevated Life Show, please subscribe. It helps us reach more amazing people like you. And it helps you stay inspired and aligned every single week. See you next time.